This hateful and constant and violent rhetoric directed at President Trump day after day after day for 11 years has helped to legitimize this violence and bring us to this dark moment. Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
You know, what's been most interesting for me throughout the weekend and throughout the day today is to watch the left deny this like it's not happening, like the rhetoric from Democrats in Washington and Democrats in the media have nothing to do with what happened on Saturday night. And then Jimmy Kimmel does this in his monologue.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow. You know, Melania's birthday is on Sunday. That's right. She's planning to celebrate at home the same way she always does, looking out a window and whispering, "What have I done?"
How is that, seriously, how is that funny? And I mean that honestly, if I were in that same spot. Jimmy's married. Would it be funny if somebody said that his wife looks like an expectant widow? I don't think that would be funny, and I'm not like a prude. I don't like Joe Biden. I think he destroyed this country. I don't want him dead. But the left do not think that way. And Melania Trump has had enough of the crap. She never weighs in on stuff like this, ever. She tweeted that, quote, Kimmel's hateful, violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. People like Kimmel shouldn't have the opportunity to enter our homes each evening and spread hate. Enough is enough. It's time for ABC to take a stand. And she's right. Donald Trump echoed that sentiment after Melania posted that. He said Jimmy Kimmel should be immediately fired from ABC. We're talking about ABC, basic cable. Jack Posobiec is a former naval intel officer and TPUSA contributor. Jack, you think ABC actually does something this time?
We know, Rob, I'd like to see that because we keep seeing violent rhetoric after violent rhetoric from Jimmy Kimmel. Let's not forget that this is the same exact Jimmy Kimmel who falsely blamed the murder of Charlie Kirk on Trump supporters. He said it was MAGA. He said it was Trump supporters that did this. He lied the same way that Barack Obama lied about saying that we don't have any motive on Cole Allen. His manifesto is out there. We can go see it. We can go see his tweets. We can go see his Blue Sky posts. We can see all of it. But the lies are the purpose. You have to understand, they know that they're lying. They do it so that they can go to their own side, so that their own side can still think, yes, we are the good people. Only someone who's not one of us enlightened, higher progressives could do something as terrible as this.
Jack, even wishing, look, again, I do not like when people say, oh, well, Johnny Carson never would have done that. Look, I get that. Jimmy Kimmel's not Johnny Carson. Okay, we know that. But like, is wishing death upon somebody, is that funny? Has that ever been funny? And you know what? It's the delivery. He's not saying it even in a funny way, okay? He's totally serious.
No, look, it's not funny at all. Especially it's not funny when we live in a time of political assassinations. We live in a political climate where we have seen the violence from the left again and again, the violence that took my friend Charlie, the violence that we've seen against President Trump and President Trump supporters like Corey Compatore. People talk about that like an attempt, but somebody did die in Butler, Pennsylvania. And that's something that these guys don't even want to contend with.
Okay, why didn't the Secret Service shoot this guy on Saturday night? How did he not get shot with all the fire that was exchanged?
Look, Rob, you know, and I saw the AG Blanche's press conference.
You're a naval intel
today,
officer, Jack. This is the only thing that was weird to me. I just don't get it.
And we're told that the only person who was shot may have actually been another Secret Service agent through friendly fire. We're not exactly sure what's happened there, but the AG made a comment alluding to that fact. I have a good friend who is actually standing next to Wolf Blitzer, who I spoke to, had him on my show earlier today, where he said the same thing. And I said, did they tackle him? Did they hit him? Did you see any blood? And I couldn't believe it. No blood, nothing. He did tell me, though, that they were extracting bullets from the wall of the building. So
to figure out how many shots were fired. You know, if he was wearing a tuxedo, he might have gotten through. That's a good, yeah. So, I mean, they got him. But had he gone into that room, what if there were 10? If there were 10 of these shooters, one of them might have gotten into that ballroom. It's not that far from where he was. The lapses in Secret Service protocol here are ridiculous. I also don't understand that. I've stayed at that hotel for this event. They don't check your bag. So why isn't the Secret Service there like 3 days before, 4 days before with a magnetometer to just X-ray luggage? That's why this guy took the train cross country, so he could travel with a bag. That's why he didn't fly. Why do they not have that basic line of defense there at that hotel?
You know, I've actually stayed at places where the president was staying, or the vice president, or places where, you know, even when they were running for office, when they were still, you know, during the campaign. And I remember having to do those bag checks, and I remember having to go through. It's kind of like when you go to the airport or something like that. It's really basic stuff. But for whatever reason, this event was not given. Look, it was not given the security designation that was required, which is Tier 1 national security event. That's what something like the Super Bowl would get, or the State of the Union. You had the entire high command of the U.S. government at a time when we have 3 aircraft carriers in the Middle East. All right, well, we're conducting. I know we're in a ceasefire right now, but we have been conducting operations against the Iranians.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
We know that we're in this.
And we've got Donald Trump's president for another 3 years, Jack. They've got to figure. I mean, they have to figure out how to keep this man safe. And thankfully, he was fine on Saturday night. Erica Kirk was there. Carolyn Levitt is 9 months pregnant. She's due any day. She's due in the beginning of May. She was sitting right next to Melania Trump on the dais. You think about what could have happened and what did happen, thankfully. Jack Posobiec, sorry to cut you short. We've got a member of Congress standing by, but appreciate you being here. Thanks, Jack.
God bless.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.